Michael Myers, or The Shape, was the first ever licensed killer to ever be added to Dead by Daylight. And this was a really big deal for Behavior, because not only were they able to get their hands on a horror icon, they got their hands on arguably the most popular. And with this unique addition to the game, Michael Myers also comes with a unique ability. And that ability is called Evil Within. Evil Within is a tier-based perk where you have to stalk survivors to gain extra tiers. You start at Evil Within Tier 1. During Tier 1, you're pretty slow, but you are undetectable. This allows you to sneak around and easily get Tier 2. Once making it to Tier 2, you gain your terror radius back and you have a faster movement speed. But you're not allowed to regress back to Tier 1. You're gonna spend most of your game in Tier 2. The time it takes to get from Tier 2 to Tier 3 is much longer than Tier 1 to Tier 2, but once you make it to Tier 3, things get interesting. Upon reaching Tier 3, for 60 seconds, Michael Myers will one-shot everybody, no matter what. This means that you are heavily rewarded for being a creep behind a tree. Once Tier 3 is over, you will regress to Tier 2, where you have to do it all over again. It is also worth noting that every time there is a tier change, the entire map is notified. The trick to this killer is to essentially pocket your Tier 3. Once you're at about 99 progress, you'd want to go up to somebody before popping Tier 3. This makes sure you get the most value out of your Tier 3. A very unique and fun ability to play with. With that being said, he's a pretty okay killer, unless you take into account his add-ons. I'm probably never going to do this again in a video, but the difference between Michael Myers without the add-ons to him with the add-ons is the difference between Mikael Myers and Michael Myers. Judith's Tombstone is an iridescent add-on. What this does is when you make it to Tier 3, you are allowed to kill them no matter what health state or hook state they're at. And then there's Fragrant Tuft of Hair. This makes it so once you reach Tier 3, you stay in Tier 3. Giving Michael these two add-ons is like giving him the Infinity Stones, basically turning him into a demigod. But enough of that, let's get into his perks. His first perk is Save the Best for Last. Whenever you hit a survivor with a basic attack that is not the obsession, you gain a token. For every token you have, you gain a 4% cooldown reduction whenever you do a successful basic attack, up to a maximum of 8. But whenever you hit your obsession with a basic attack, you lose 2 tokens. His second perk is Play with Your Food. Every time you get into a chase with your obsession, then let them get away, you gain a token up to a max of 3. For each token you have, you gain 5% haste. Then, every single time you do an attack that can damage a survivor, you lose a token. Then for his last perk, we have Dying Light. Each time you hook a survivor that is not the obsession, you gain a token. For as long as the obsession is alive, all other survivors will suffer from a stackable 3% per token speed penalty for repairing, healing, or sabotaging. The obsession, however, is completely unaffected by this, and instead gains a 33% action speed bonus when it comes to unhooking or healing survivors. These perks are pretty good. The only problem really is that you just have to leave somebody alone for almost the entire match. But if you're going against smart players, they're going to notice that you're kind of just leaving the obsession alone because survivors can see who the obsession is, and if they catch on, things can get a lot more difficult for you. It's a good thing I don't recommend running any of these perks, and I think the best perk for Michael is Coup de Grace. Because let's get real here, a Tier 3 with an added lunging distance is busted. This has been Borey's Guide to Dead by Daylight, and I saw what you did yesterday. You're not safe.